Hi guys, thank you so much for coming onto this video today. Today I want to discuss China. I'm a layman. I've never been to China. Don't speak Mandarin. Got no friends who are Chinese. I've had some workers or employees who have been Chinese, but that's about it. That's as much as I know. And the rest, I listen to a bit of media here and there and I get that information. China gets a lot of criticism from our media, from the general population, and I think a lot of it is unjustified. And the reason I want to talk about China is because, if anything, we should be following China. We should be understanding China, and we should be copying them to a certain degree because they're doing things right, by and large. No country's perfect. They've got their errors. Who hasn't? It's impossible to be perfect. But I believe they are far, far superior than this country. And that's because I believe that the leadership actually cares about its people. China, only 30 years ago, had I think 600 or 700 million people in poverty. When they say poverty, they mean like to slum level. And they've become almost, and many people even think, they're the biggest economy in the world now, and they're slightly perhaps behind America, but in 30 years what they have done is absolutely extraordinary, and they've done that to benefit their people. You see, when an economy gets better, their population, especially the middle class and the lower class, benefit the most. The rich, guess what? They get richer, but in terms of lifestyle, it doesn't really make much of a difference, right? They'll buy another 3 cars, 4 cars. But for the lower class and the middle class, it's a gigantic difference in what they're able to achieve, what they're able to buy, what they're able to live, their quality of life, their standard. And China, I feel, what they have done is just remarkable. It's something you have to admire. In 30 years, they've taken 600 million people out of poverty and put them into the middle class. You know, that's extraordinary. And they've not done that by luck. They've done that through some hard work and phenomenal decisions. I look at China and I basically think, whatever the leader's called, Xi Jinping I think he's called, he literally looks at America and he looks at all the things America does wrong and he says, right, we're not going to do that. That's what I see from China. I'll give you a few examples of that. But I see China and I think, he must be literally sat there watching the American news and, even England, but America, obviously, they're the big boys. And he looks at America and he essentially thinks, right, they've done that, I don't want that in my country. And that will benefit my people. I'll give you an example. In my opinion, the biggest thing this country and countries like America have done is allowed large corporations to monopolise. When large corporations monopolise, in my view, they ruin a society. So no government, in my opinion, should allow anyone to monopolise, any big corporation to get too big. Or even if they do get too big, don't be afraid to come down on like a ton of bricks. Because when you don't, guess what happens? You give them tax benefits. So just get this rationale in your head. They're the ones that can afford to pay any tax. They can pay as much as they like. Yes, they might have 15 billion, but what they've paid tax, they might have 12 billion left at the end of the year. Oh my God, they're going to suffer, aren't they? But if that means someone on the street ain't going to sleep on the street, if a nurse is not going to have to go to a food bank, then guess what? Get the money off the rich. Absolutely, off the corporations. Not give them tax benefits where they don't pay no tax. And punish the hard-working people. That's just the wrong way around. We have accepted that. We need to stop that. China, if you look at China's got a few big companies, right? The equivalent of, let's say, Facebook. They've got, which is you can call Tencent. And they've got, let's say, Alibaba, which is worldwide renowned. And China's come down on them like a ton of bricks. China's felt they've got too big, and they don't like it. They're not comfortable with it because they understand. They have seen the result of that from countries like ours, the UK, the US, where it doesn't benefit the average person. And and the reason it don't benefit the average person is because when you take the ability of a person to get a small business or a medium-sized business and have some success out of it, not just get by week to week, you may as well just go and work for £7, £8, £10 an hour, whatever it is nowadays. You may as well just work for that. There's no difference. There's no incentive for you to do that because you kill entrepreneurship. Because people are thinking, I just don't want to struggle that much. Now, don't get me wrong. Not everyone can open a small business. It's struggle, it's hard work, it's dedication. But there's a massive shift where you just can't compete with the big corporations. If you go back to the 90s, and if any of you are listening who can remember, and it's not long ago, it's 30 years ago, 25 years ago, it's not that long. There was no 24 hours convenience, these supermarkets. They were shut. 8 to 10 o'clock, wherever it was, shut on a Sunday. And we just became this money-chasing society. We've become this money-chasing society. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but our parents have probably got houses bought, right? And one parent used to work. Now you have everyone in the home working, you can't get a house. So something's not right, is it? What's the point of having more money when you can't buy the basic things of life? If you can't buy your own house that you can after working all your life, or majority of your life, and you just can't buy a house, or even if you do buy a house, if you're under mortgage for the next 30 years, it's not your house. You miss payments by 6 months, and they'll have you on the street within faster than you can say boo. It's not your house, it's the bank's. Until you've paid it, it's not yours, and what you have to pay back, that's just another conversation in itself, which I'll come to. But China is phenomenal in that respect because they see the mess ups of the other countries. So, for example, in Tencent and Alibaba, they've made it very clear to them, and they penalise them. They said you have to cut down you have to split your companies. You can't get too big. And people think, oh, they're scared. They're not scared. They've got nothing to be scared of. What's a company going to do to them? They've got the army. What can the country do? But they care about the people. They understand by monopolising, they take the opportunity away from somebody else coming to the market. And they understand the value of that because that's how their country's grown. That's how their country's developed. That's how people have come out of poverty because you've allowed another outlet for people to get into. Not just to be stuck in a 9 to 5 or a 9 to 9. And yeah, don't get me wrong, they do extremely long hours, some of them. But, they all collectively are in there solid. And I remember very clearly actually. I met a Chinese lady while I was I was in the town centre, one of my businesses there, and she was, we just got talking, and she said to me, we got talking. She said she's going to estate agents to see some viewings of some because the market was shutting down, and she had to get a new place, so she's going to find a new place. And we just got talking, and I explained to her. I said, "Yeah, this premises across the road. I've been here, I think 6 years at that point, 5 years, something like that." And I said that has been empty for that period of time, and probably 2 years before. And I remember one of the estate agents saying that was empty. I think 3-4 years before we arrived. So it's like 8-9 years. This property in the town centre is empty. There's no one occupying it. And the reason why no one's occupying it is because of business rates. I mean, this is crazy. You've got a shop there, which I'm certain people will fall over to get the shop, to open a business, to open something, to get the... It's closed. Why? Because of business rates. So the government will take business rates probably from the landlord, I'm assuming, or sometimes zero business rates because of the way some landlords just work it, put into different companies and different names. They won't pay no rates. And there's no incentive for people to go in and get that property. And I remember the Chinese lady basically saying to me, she said, she goes, the amount of shops I've seen shut, it's incredible. She said, this won't happen in China. She said, in China, if they see a shop that's closed, they will literally drag you off the street and throw you in there and say, forget the taxes, we'll deal with that later. That's an afterthought. And that just showed me again. It just reconfirmed the mentality of, you know, the sad reality that our councils just haven't got a clue. They're so out of touch with reality and business, and they stop. I mean, you have all the. Just imagine you go into a town centre, all the shops are full. You know what that does to the economy and people, and it gets them moving and gets jobs, rather than sitting on benefits at home, or you know, it's just a phenomenal environment. You go into town centres now, like ghost towns, but we've created that. We've created that situation, and we've allowed it to fester and fester. You know, and the business rates again. You know, another tax. I mean, what is the business rates for, my friend? What is it for? What do you do for me? That's the business rates. There's no service you give to me. I worry for the future of this country. I really do worry. I worry because I think, will it ever change? I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, there's something major's got to happen for this country to rebound back to Great Britain, because the way they're handling the finances, there's no one there who really cares, and you know, it ultimately affects the people, you know, middle class and the lower class, the working class. It affects them people. You know, it doesn't affect the others. They're not bothered. So it's disappointing, and yeah, I just wanted to shed some light on China. China is a very, 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 very successful country. And I think in the next few years, it's going to be the global, you know, standard. It probably already is now, to be honest with you, but it gets a lot of flack, and there's a reason why the US is, you know, getting the agenda out there, and all this rhetoric that you're hearing now constantly on China. There's a reason for that. There always is. But China is very, very sophisticated. China, I believe, cares immensely about its population, and they really have succeeded. So, you know, in 30 years, what they've done, it's just absolutely crazy what they've done in 30 years. And if they continue to go at this rate, even if they slow down a little bit, I mean, you know, recession in China is like 2% GDP or something, 3% GDP. You know, that's still growth. But they class it as a recession because that's how far in advance they've gone. You know, they've taken the whole world's manufacturing to their home, and they create everything for the world. You know, so we should be grateful to China, because everything, probably in your homes, as you look around now, everything's from China. You know, so they've done exceptionally well through hard work. Their population needs a big round of applause for that, because they've done great things, and that's with a population of over 1 billion. And that's, I think, it's hard work. It's harder, because think about it, 1 billion people. Look how much capital you have to raise to feed that 1 billion people. So, yeah, it's China. China is a good country. China is something we should look up to, I believe, and not look down upon. And I think some people just need to perhaps stop watching the news and just read some other articles about China, or get some other information from other sources about China, because you might just be impressed and you might change your views. And yeah, I think it'll benefit everyone, and probably it can be your evidence to hold people in power here to account and say, look what they're doing and look what we're doing. You know, so there's a gulf of a difference now, I think. So yeah, we may have so-called, or the West may have this unity and military power, but that's no good to the average person. We just want to be able to enjoy our life and work hard. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe, guys. Please do like it. It'll help me a lot. Look, I've created this channel just to get awareness out there on many different topics, and I just want to keep doing that. I want to learn. Please do comment. Please do, you know, hopefully in time I can sit with other types of people and just learn. I love to learn. I love knowledge. I love to learn different cultures, ideas. So please, you know, if you're just hit that subscribe button. It'll just help me out. It's free for you, and it'll help me out. Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.